What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Collective Comics and the Lights Comics Action Podcast. We're diving in deep to episode number 35 here today. As usual, I'm joined by the homie Jake. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. What's new with you? What are you finding out? What are you looking up?
Well, I want to preface this episode by saying we are filming early.
Yes.
So the things that we're talking about today could change significantly by tomorrow, let alone when this episode comes out on the 14th of June. So, yes, take that as you will. But there is a lot going on right now. Mainly, like, we're going to see Spider-Man tomorrow. Like,
I'm so stoked, man.
The episode that came out today, we talked a little bit about how excited we are about it and what we're hoping to expect and hoping to see. So I'm excited to see this, to finally see the movie. How we've been waiting for so long for this.
Yeah, and then you want to know what I just found out today about this movie? It's a two-parter.
Oh, really?
I'm finding out today, the day before the movie, that this movie is going to be a two-parter, and that the second part is going to come out June 2024, so another year.
Okay.
That we got to wait, and it's going to be called Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Really? I did not know this. I did not know this at all.
I'm just figuring it out.
So, hold on. I'm looking this up, and this is saying this is wrong. This is very wrong. Hold on.
Which one?
I just looked up because I'm trying to see when the first one came out. Spider-Verse movie.
2018.
That's what I saw, and then all of a sudden everything just started saying 2002. I'm like, there's no way it came out in 2002.
Yeah.
So 2018. So 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's been 5 years. So we've been.
It doesn't feel like 5 years, man.
I feel like it feels way longer than 5 years.
I feel like it just came out.
I feel like I've been waiting 10 years. I've been ready for this one. I got the little Spider-Verse guy. I don't even know how to point this.
How do you bend that way, you know?
I'm like, there we go. There we go.
We'll have to like zoom in on it.
We got the Spider-Verse behind me here. I love the first one, so I'm super excited for the second one. So tell me more about these facts that you've been finding.
So I'm finding that they already have the cast confirmed for it, and this is like 100% going to happen. The thing that is like throwing me off a little bit is like if it's not done being written, where are we going to stand with the writer's strike that's happening right now? Is this going to get pushed? Are we going to have to wait another 5 years to get part 2? I hope not. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This is weird because this is animation on top of it. You know what I mean? So it's going to take a while to do all the animation. Granted, I guess if you have all the thumbnails and everything done, you could probably do a bulk of the animation without the lines and stuff recorded. But I mean, if it's not written, then it's probably not thumbnailed, and it's probably, you know what I mean? If it's not fully written, where are you in pre-production? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's
definitely.
A tough one.
I'm hoping that they're a lot farther along, and they're like, you know what? This movie is turning out to be way longer than we thought it would be. Let's just extend it a little bit and make it a second feature, or a third movie.
Yeah, they accidentally wrote like a 4-hour movie.
Right. I mean, it happens, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I think for most movies, if I was going to go and write a movie, I would like plan for like, okay, if I know that I'm shooting for 2.5 hours of content, I'm going to film 5 to 6.
Yeah, I mean, probably cost dependent.
That too, yeah. Yeah, but if it was 100% up to me and like my ideal plan in my head to go through with that's the way that
you'd like
that
to
I would do that.
Yeah.
If I was Tim Burton or something crazy.
So, have they said anything else about what the movie is going to be other than the part 2? Have you seen anything about that? Like,
Spot is going to be sticking around through this movie. Do you know about Spot, right?
Not off the top of my head.
Whoops.
I mean, we're about to find out. We're about to find out tomorrow.
I don't want to like
So-
spoil anything for you, but I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really spoil it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this comes out a week after, so I guess spoilers don't really matter for our listeners.
But it matters to you, though.
Right,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
haven't seen it. I don't want to tell you. There's going to be probably more Kingpin.
Okay. Kingpin looks crazy in Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if there's actually going to be so much of him in this movie, but I know that whole thing with the main protagonist in this story being Spot, Kingpin is very heavily involved
Right.
with who Spot is.
Well, like we said, we're seeing the movie tomorrow. This comes out a week after the Spider-Verse episode, so I'm sure by the time we're back shooting together, we're gonna have some information.
Right.
We're gonna have this might.
I just don't want to spoil it for you.
No. I'm saying we'll stay there. We'll live that
Okay.
life. We'll live in this bubble that we have right now, and then 2-3 weeks from now, when we're ready for another episode, maybe this will pan out a little bit more, and we'll actually be able to talk about more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna have so much information. I say that now. We come back,
Right,
and,
and then we're gonna be like,
so
we don't know what to
nothing's
talk
happened.
about.
Yeah, nothing's happened. It's exactly where we left it.
Right.
Cool. I am also tracking. This is a big one that is potentially going to change, and I haven't even told you about this yet. I told you that it's League of Legends related.
Mm-hmm.
I figure League of Legends video games are kind of in our world a little bit. They also are doing a bunch of comic book stuff right now, and there's big news coming out. And this could change tomorrow. Hopefully it's over in 2 weeks by the time this comes out. But as of right now, the entire North American League, all of the players have walked out. So we're in a position
Like for
right
tournaments?
now, like the whole, yeah, they're in the season is supposed to start tomorrow when this is being filmed. And right now the players are saying they're not playing. So Riot has made it so anybody in the country can play. So we could technically sign up to be League of Legends pros, but no, like so some backstory, because you don't know anything about this, and I don't know if any of our listeners do, and I'm gonna condense it down. You know, I've been listening to podcasts and seeing videos, and I've been kind of tracking it, but I don't know everything about it, obviously.
Educate us, man.
So, so basically, there was a international tournament. It ended last week. So there was an international tournament, and while that international tournament was happening, Riot pushed through a vote that said that American teams don't have to have challenger teams anymore. So what challenger teams is basically like League of Legends minor league. So like all the professional teams also had a challenger team, and they were training them, teaching them. They had coaches, they had all that stuff. And then the pro teams could pull up talent if they needed it. So if nobody knows about League of Legends, there's 5 different roles in a League of Legends team. If your mid lane was having issues, you could go to a challenger team and basically promote a challenger player to pro and bring them in and see how they work with your team, so on and so forth. So not only was it just more players being able to play semi-professionally, but they were also getting trained. There was like development stuff going on. There was all this stuff trying to make North American talent better, you know, so we could have better players coming up, and when somebody would retire or leave or go somewhere else, we could have a talent pool to pull from. So the other day, about a week ago now, when we're recording this, Riot was like, you guys don't need that anymore. And the investors in the team investors were like, we're not going to spend money on that, so bye everybody. And they basically immediately fired everybody connected with Challenger. So coaches lost their jobs overnight. Players lost their jobs overnight. It's chaos.
Yeah, dude. That's like, what is up with everything's like on strike. or
Yeah.
Everybody's like, literally people are saying that we're not in a recession, and we are, to the point where even stuff like that is getting messed with, and I feel like a little bit like, you know, I don't know. with I don't know, just everything is so crazy right now. I don't want to say like too much and get into too many like
yeah,
conspiracy theories.
We could get into a lot of stuff, but
yeah, but everything is in such a weird state. Everybody's losing their jobs. It seems like coaches and esports players. Next thing you know, we're going to start hearing professional baseball teams and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
investors pulling out of that stuff. There's no money places right now.
That's one of the big issues with this is that Riot, and I don't have the exact numbers, like the financial numbers and stuff aren't super public, but Riot cuts a check to every one of these teams, however often, whether it's annually, quarterly, whatever it is. They give them money to basically run their league teams. Mm-hmm. So what the investors are doing is trying to, one, make that money go wherever they want. So who knows where that money's going? It might be just going in the investors' pockets. It could be some teams are taking the money from Riot for their league team and using it for their Apex teams, their Call of Duty teams. So like sports that they want to be involved with, but they don't make as much money. They're just taking money from Riot for League of Legends and just being like, we're not going to use this on League of Legends. We're going to use it for this other thing.
And Riot doesn't like that.
I mean, Riot doesn't care as long as they have teams because they're making money off of putting people on stage. You know what I mean? So that's a big thing around it. But they're also, instead of, actually putting money into development in the country, they'd rather just pay $1 million or whatever to get this Korean player who's not great in Korea, but he'd come over here and destroy everybody. So they're going to put all that money into that one player rather than put a little bit of money into developing 5 players. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's like, it's just another thing where like you have all this money, you just want to get fast payout for your money. Hey, you can see my dog. And they're like, yeah, it's chaos. So the players aren't getting the money that they're supposed to be getting paid. And the players that are getting a lot of the money aren't even from the country, which that's fine. Like you can bring in imports. That's a rule and it's fine in the league. But instead of the amount of money that they're putting into overseas talent rather than trying to develop the league and develop the talent. Hold on. Okay.
I heard that. I was like, what was that noise?
The dog wanted to leave the room. So yeah, after Riot was like, you guys don't need challengers anymore, the teams basically, it seems like, and this might just be my speculation, but it seems like the players and a lot of the coaching staff feel very similar, but Riot and the investors are just trying to make as much money as possible, whereas like the coaches and players want to focus on the quality of the league and player development, stuff like that.
The community.
Yeah.
More so to say. Yeah, like the camaraderie and building a team and
right.
Well, it's more than fun at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's fun to play league, but it's more than fun. It is a job at that point.
It's like to the point where like there was an interview with one of the players and he's like, I don't know if all the players feel this way, but I would take $50,000 less a year to put that money into development and blah, blah, blah. And like a lot of us could afford it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So just for the fact that players feel so strongly as to take a little bit of a pay cut to fund like development and, league quality and things like that, I think that says a lot,
Yeah.
But like I was saying, I feel like coaches and players seem to be on the same page. Investors and Riot are on the other side. Like, we don't care about your league quality. We don't care about development. We just want as much money and we want championships. Right. And I feel like the coaches are right in the middle. Like, because the coaches have to just listen to Riot essentially and their investors. Otherwise, they don't have jobs either. You know what I mean? So there's contracts out there like you have to have a team by this Thursday when we're recording it, June 1st, because the North American summer split starts, which goes into the Worlds tournament. So Riot's like, we don't care about anything that you're doing. You guys have to have people on stage Thursday or that you're done. Like, that's the contract.
Dang.
So then Riot's like, put whoever you want on the stage. We don't care if they're ranked, not ranked. We don't care if they've ever played League. You have to have a team by June 1st. So
Dang.
there's a lot of stuff going around. And
So is this year's like tournament just going to be like utter chaos the whole time?
well, I don't think it's going to be. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping, at least by tomorrow, if not next week, they figure something out. So we can at least have the right teams with the right people playing the sport. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
Right.
it's like some people are saying, it's like, so you want to make as much money as possible, but you don't care about the quality of the product that you're putting on. Like, who wants to sit here and watch? Who would want to sit here and watch you and me play League of Legends professionally? And let alone, like, then you're trying to go internationally and win. Like, America's already technically the worst. I feel like us and Europe are pretty even, but you're gonna send these people who have never played competitive League before to play against Korea and China, and then what? Like, then what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
They're not gonna do anything. Who wants to watch that? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You might
just
want to watch it
watch 'em
for like
spank us.
you might want to watch it for the chaos that it might be or how funny it might be, but that's gonna wear off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like watching that every week it's not gonna pay off in the long run.
So they just completely pulled all, I guess, domestic funding for domestic players then.
For the Challenger League.
Okay.
So like Cloud9 is a team. They have their LCS team. The LCS is the North American League. So like the NFL of League of Legends,
Okay.
But Cloud9 also had to have a challenger team, which was the developmental like side of League of Legends, making the league better, making it so we had talent to pull from in case something happened, so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Essentially, like, if something were to happen to a player on a North American pro team and they get hurt or something, unfortunately something happens to them and they can't play, like, without
You're able to,
challenger,
pull somebody off the bench.
yeah,
Basically.
there's no bench without challengers. Your closest thing to a bench. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I just don't see how that would benefit anybody, unless you were to like get rid of challenger but have your main five and then you have five on the bench and they all train together, scrim together, like maybe something like that. But
You sub them in and out and
Yeah.
rotate it like a team, which they could be trying to do, like, I mean, I think the other thing is that what people don't realize is that sports teams are exactly the same way, and they have what's called, like in basketball, is like their G League teams and stuff like that, and that's basically like your minor league. It's not major league baseball, minor league baseball,
yeah,
just a step under playing in MLB or NBA or NFL. And it sounds like they're trying to get rid of that. Is
yeah,
what
pretty
it
much.
seems like to me.
A big thing. There's a lot of like content creators too that are trying. It seems like they're thinking about just like starting basically like a challenger team. So like the LCS would have like the normal teams, but then like Mr. Beast could have a team for like a minor League of Legends team, and that would
Right.
essentially create like a challenger development space. But there hasn't been any caps on anything, so like you could run into like you have 5 people on your challenger team, 4 of them are making the absolute minimum, but then this one that you imported to have like in your back pocket, you paid them $1 million to play a challenger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you got all these inflated people, and all the pay is inflated, right? So there's one content creator, I think his name is Toast or something. As soon as this happened, he's like, I will fund a team, something, something. I don't know the specifics of that. I just heard it this morning. But he's already out so much money just from trying to keep a challenger team alive in the way that they let it all fall apart. So, like, they've been trying to fix North America's issues, and they've been working with Riot, and Riot's like, yeah, we're not going to do it yet. We're not going to do it. This is what we want to see, blah, blah, blah. And then one day they're like, gotcha. And they're like,
yoink.
It's gone. And
Wow.
now there's like a players association because the players aren't unionized.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
If there was like, there probably needs to be some kind of like esports guild or union.
Because I remember I used to be really into Call of Duty and watching professional Call of Duty, and I knew League of Legends has been huge forever, you know?
Yeah.
And they were thinking about unionizing, but they franchised instead. So that's where you have like Drake owns part of 100 Thieves, and like the Dallas Stars or the Dallas Astros or Houston Astros or whatever bought part of Chicago Optic, which was the team that I was always cheering for because I'm from Chicago, or in the Chicago area. So when that happened, then all of these franchises started getting involved in esports, and they just jumped into the scene, paid a bunch of money to get involved, and then they just kind of left it alone, and no development was done. So now we're kind of suffering, or esports is kind of suffering from that. So they just shot up all of the money, but then they're like, well, we don't want to spend money the way we were spending money. Good luck, bye. You know, kind of how it seems.
Yeah, almost like making it even harder for the players that do play with the challenger spots.
Yeah.
That I'm assuming you got to do it like working your way up the ladder. Same way as Call of Duty and stuff like that, and other things, is that you kind of have to like work your way through the leagues. I'm assuming you'll start somewhere with a certain level league and then work your way up to obviously these big tournaments and stuff. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
So you're the one that knows a lot more about me.
So one thing that I didn't know, but because in Call of Duty I felt like it was kind of always like this, but League of Legends you used to play, and whoever did the best, like the top 10 teams would just be involved in the league, and then next season you'd have to play to like hold your spot, right?
Right.
So when it franchised, the franchises basically just came in and bought out all those slots, and then you didn't have to play to be in the league anymore. So it didn't matter how good you were just automatically in the league. So there's some teams who are now just they're basically defunding their League of Legends teams, taking the money from Riot to like put money into their companies and their organizations, and they're just playing in the league, just taking last place every season. Doesn't matter, they don't have to do good, they're still going to get checks from Riot,
Right.
you know? So they're just automatically like, why are you even in the league if you don't care about it? It's just a check for you. So they're trying to also bring back like having to earn your way into the league. You know, if you're not a good team, if you're not a top 10 team in the country, you shouldn't be a top 10 team representing our country.
Yeah, but aren't they like kind of voiding that? If that's what they're trying to do, aren't they kind of like voiding that by getting rid of this challenge team?
Voiding what?
Like, so you're saying that they want to they want new players to be coming up and work their way up the ladder and work their way up the ranks and stuff like that. But then if you can't, like, I don't know, I could be off too. Like I said,
Yeah.
I get a little bit confused with it. So if they pulled all the funding and are not making it possible for challenge, well,
so the big thing is they're not pulling any funding from anybody. They're just making it so they don't have to have a challenger team. So the team is still going to get the same amount of money, but they just have half the team. You know what I mean?
But I think more of what I should have said was like, so you had to work your way up the ranks to be even able to compete in the tournament and stuff like that now. But now, like right at this moment, like you just said, we can go and play in this tournament.
That's just because Riot, because they don't have players right now. So all of the
So
players have walked out, and Riot wants to put on. They want to have people playing tomorrow, regardless of if the players want to play or not. So they're just trying to get anybody in the country who can get to California to play tomorrow.
I see. I see. Yeah, I see what's
It's
happening.
scabs. It's scabs like a strike. You know what I mean? Like if McDonald's workers went on strike, but they paid these other people to come in and make burgers for them that have never worked at McDonald's before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
the
crazy.
same
So they're
thing,
just
yeah.
trying to save the event and save the show, basically, is kind of
Pretty
what's
much.
happening.
Yeah.
A little bit by allowing these players to come in. Because that was the
Yeah.
part that was confusing me. Because I was like, okay, so they got rid of their stuff, and now everybody's mad, but then they made it possible for new players to be able to come in and just play in this tournament tomorrow.
Yeah.
That was the part that was kind of confusing
Yeah,
me. 'Cause
I
was
mean,
like,
it's confusing
if it's supposed to be
anyways.
hard. Yeah, I was like, if it's supposed
You
to be
know?
hard to like climb the ranks and stuff like that, like it's not hard
Yeah.
to get there if you're not climbing the ranks. You know,
Right,
I can
yeah.
if we can go and do it, dude. If they're gonna pay us, let's go do it. Like,
Yeah. Well, they were comparing it to like you know, I don't know, do you watch sports at all? I don't really watch too many sports.
I've been watching a lot of golf.
That's not going to help me.
Yeah.
But like, so we're close to Chicago. So imagine like the Chicago Bears,
Mm-hmm.
they get money every year to pay their team, right? But they're going to get that money regardless of winning or losing. They're already in a contract to get that money. You know what I mean?
But isn't it? I mean, if they don't sell seats, then it's going to affect the contract.
I mean, it's going to
With NFL.
affect. It's going to essentially affect their income. Like, you can get more money from seats. You know what I mean? But if you're slotted, like, say the NFL paid every team $5 million a year, and you were supposed to use that $5 million to pay your players, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, I could get $5 million every year, and if I don't hire players that cost $5 million, then I have extra money. So if they go and buy like a bunch of college kids coming straight out of college who will play for $100,000 or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Right.
That means I'm gonna have $3 million. Obviously, I didn't do the math. I'll have $3 million left over to buy a car with. You know what I mean,
Right.
or whatever. So that's essentially what like this is coming to. Like, there's teams who are just buying the cheapest players that they can to have a team, and then using the rest of the money that Riot is giving them every whatever it is, and they're just using that money somewhere else. Who knows where? You know.
Buy comic books.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. They're buying the new
It's
League of
basically-
Legends skins that are coming out.
Right. Yeah. It's basically what you're kind of saying. You know, is that they're just taking it and putting it in their pocket and can use it for whatever instead of investing it back into.
Yeah,
their
I don't
team.
know. Like I said, I don't know if it's going into their pockets. There's some people that are saying
knows?
they're in the League of Legends like tournament. They're one of the 10 teams just to make the money every year, but they're taking the extra money to like fund Call of Duty teams, Apex Legends teams, Hearthstone teams, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Because they care about those sports. They don't care about League of Legends, but they can make money in League of Legends. You know, so it's kind of turning into a league full of people who don't actually care about the league. They just care about the money because they're getting it regardless.
Right. Yeah, it's like how do people find out that that's what the money is going towards? Like how do we know like
That's
that
one
that
thing.
said team isn't putting it back into league?
That's one thing that they're trying to fight for as well. It's not one of like the top 5. They're fighting for like top 5 things, but there's like a whole list of things that they want to try to accomplish. And they're trying to see where like they're trying to make some stuff more public. You know, just like the writer's strike that we talked about,
Right.
and Netflix funding being public and all this stuff is the same thing over there right now, where like if you're getting $5 million and your players are coming out and telling us that their numbers don't add up to $5 million, then where's that other $1 million going? Or, you know, whatever it is.
Right.
And it's like some of these teams are also building like huge places for their teams that they don't need, and you know, it's chaos right now.
That's where you see all those crazy warehouses and all
Yeah.
decked out. Got it on a loan.
Yeah, like 100 Thieves is like crazy.
Dude,
they have a compound for real.
that I loved because you mentioned Optic earlier, and I was gonna say that I used to watch Optic back in the day
Mhm.
when Nade Shot was still on it before he went and started 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like 2 years ago I decided to like look up Nade Shot again
Mhm.
and like
Yeah,
go to
I
his
know.
YouTube and see what he was doing, and I was just like, this dude's a freaking billionaire now,
Right.
dude. Like I was like, what? Like
Well, I
I was
think,
watching them when they were still in the Chicago house.
Yeah, and then they got bought by a Texas baseball team
And moved to
then-
Dallas.
And then I don't know if you remember Hector.
Yeah, I love
he
Hex.
he got pushed out of Optic for a while, and then it was just basically
But he's back now.
he basically finally got it back. You know what I mean? Because
That's like the point when I decided to look him up again, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool.
he got pushed out of Optic, and it was just some guy like running Optic that the baseball team had picked for them. You know what I mean? And
Right.
then Hector had started Chicago Huntsman,
Yeah.
and then finally he got Optic back, but it's still like Houston Optic or Texas Optic or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's not the same Optic team. I think it's like kind of a league now to where I think he has a Chicago team, so he still has the Chicago Optic team, but it's totally different people now. Like Scump isn't on it. Like
Well, that's when
Bose.
Scump just retired. He was
Yeah.
on it. He was on it for a long time, but
he went
the-
to Dallas with them.
Yeah. That's the weird thing about like esports too. I mean, it's the same thing as like basketball and baseball. It's like people like teams, but it's hard for me. It's always been hard for me to pick teams because like if I like this player and
Yeah.
he gets traded, well, I don't like that team anymore. You know what I mean? I like this player. That's why I picked that team.
Yeah, I think what they had was a real like cohesive team that really
Yeah.
worked, especially for content and stuff. With what was Flame Sword
Yeah.
and Bose. I used to love Bose, Nate Shot and Scump. I was like, well, that's like the dream team, and Hex, of course.
Right.
But yeah, I got super into his like spray painting stuff
Oh yeah.
a while back, and I was like, oh, I need to start spray painting again.
And then
Then I stopped.
that was when it got really bad though, when like stuff like that was happening because franchises were taking over esports teams. It was big paydays, and all these franchises promised all these futures for esports, but then I don't think it was what they thought it was going to be. You know what I mean?
I think it's probably just the classic case of a corporation and business coming into an industry that they don't know,
Right.
and that
yeah.
they're trying to make money at, and they're just throwing money at it in whatever way, shape, or form that they can to try and make it back,
Yeah.
and double it or do more than double or whatever they're trying to do with it.
It just sucks when that happens, especially in a place where you need somebody to care about the product. You know what I mean? Like if
because the thing is that like the YouTubers and stuff like that are the ones that care the most about the
Right.
product, even like aside from Riot, like those guys on those teams and stuff like that, like probably care about the game more than the guys that made League of Legends at this point.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, the guys who make League of Legends, there's just a paycheck for them, I'd imagine. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Isn't it still? No, they're not. Wait, no, they're not. Same as WoW. For some reason,
Oh,
I
no.
thought they were going to be the
No,
same
that's
as WoW. I
Blizzard.
was like, that's what I thought for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, no, they're not made by Blizzard.
I mean, I guess if you want to compare Riot and Blizzard, we can get into we could probably make a whole separate video on workplace shenanigans and lawsuits that they've been under in the last 5 years. But yeah. So I just wanted to talk about that, kind of get your opinion and first thoughts on what you thought about that. It's just crazy to me that the biggest thing that's crazy to me, obviously, there's a lot of things, especially in our country, that need to be fixed and worked on, and there's things happening right now that need to be worked on. We can see that with the writers' strike. We can see it all over the place, right? But like just the fact that rather than talking this out and figuring this out, you just rather put a bunch of random people on a stage, and that's the product you want to put out. Like,
Do they have much of a choice though?
I mean, they could talk to people and figure this out. You know what I mean? They could.
Yeah, I
They
guess
could
they
make
could
an effort.
postpone or something
Yeah.
like that. But
I mean,
who
that's the
knows?
biggest
I feel
thing.
like that's where it gets weird with industry and business and stuff like that. Is once you put it in paperwork and once you put it into like contracts, like you have to do this event, sell this many tickets on this day. All these advertisers are going to be here on this day. Vendors, it's a million people that need to be there, and getting all that rescheduled and figured out isn't impossible. But I can definitely see like,
But
you're going to lose your contract, and you're not going to get paid your money that you were supposed to for coming and playing or sponsoring this event or something like that, and it's just going to cause a big mess.
So here's another thing, though, right? This was a point that was brought up in a podcast I was listening to. How do you think the sponsors feel about this? Sponsors are signed on to a specific product, right?
Yeah.
And now Riot's like, we don't care about that product. Put anybody out there. We don't care.
Yeah.
There's
Who's going to be the person that's in that seat, you know?
There's literally a MasterCard. What were they saying? I think it's like a MasterCard sponsored day one of the split tomorrow, where you can win custom items and have a meet and greet with the players. What players? What players are they going to meet and greet with?
Yeah.
You think MasterCard's cool giving you a bunch of money to meet with a bunch of random people? Like, that's not what they paid you to do.
No. I mean, I guess on paper, the players that are going to be there and playing are going to be there and are going to be ready for a meet and greet, but I don't think anybody's going to want to go to that meet and greet if they don't know who it is.
But
I'm
I mean,
not
you
go
look
up to just some random gamer's table if I don't know who this YouTuber is. You know what I'm saying?
You look at content creators, and they're like, they'll sign on for sponsors for X amount of money for like however many videos. But then that sponsor has to see that video before it goes out to make sure they agree with that content.
Yeah.
You can't just put out any videos you want. You know what I mean? So you think, yeah, well, you're going to meet with players. Just any players? Just any people that happen to play that day? You know what I mean? Like, that's not the product they're buying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think Corsair or Scuff Gaming or, you know, any of these companies are just funding a league of just random people. They're funding a league of the best people in the country. You know what I mean? That's what they're paying for. And you're just like, whatever. We don't care we don't care what you do. We're going to have a product regardless.
Right. I mean, I guess like who knows what can really happen though? Like, what if there's contracts saying like this has to happen on this date, you know, or what if they physically like got themselves into some loophole to where they can't cancel the event?
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's fine, but like the way that it stands, like
the sponsors should pull out if they were smart.
Right. Even if the sponsor
If they-
can't pull out, would they ever sign to you again? Would they ever sponsor you again?
Not for that much money.
How much are you damaging the league just by doing what you're doing? You know what I mean? You don't want to make the league better, but you sure don't have a problem making it worse,
Right.
it seems like. So, yeah.
I guess all I can say is like best case scenario, best hope that could really bring this thing home is that some random player goes, crushes it, and is like on top of the whole tournament, dude. You know what I'm saying? Gets the whole place to love him, goes viral. That is the dream scenario here for any brand sponsoring that event.
Right.
You know, is that this random kid from Utah, you know,
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere is like the best league player in the world, you know, but is that going to happen?
It's crazy though, because like
Probably not.
I guess like 52 players walked out. That's 5 people, 10 teams plus challenger teams. That'd be 50 plus 2
Wow.
randoms to 52 players. So if one of those players decides that they don't want to walk out anymore and they come back tomorrow and play with a bunch of scrubs, you know what I mean?
They're going
What
to
are
crush
they?
it. Yeah.
They're just gonna run everybody over. They're just running the map. 50 kills.
I guess if they don't care about the backlash that they're going to get for going back and pulling back in and out like that, it would be a smart thing.
Yeah, I
But
heard somebody was like, "You're just gonna watch 10 people with paper bags on their heads playing League of Legends. Like, what are you gonna do?"
right, pretty much, yeah, just
It's
random people.
It's a mess. But yeah, so that's happening right now. Like I said, hopefully this is over by the time you hear this and something is worked out. But I'm gonna try to be following this and listening to more podcasts because, like, I mean, this is where our country is right now. Not to put us in a box for like our international listeners and stuff, but internationally, I think the EU stuff is still happening. China and Korea are still good. Like, they're all good over there. So America not coming to the table for Worlds just leaves a couple spaces open for them to, you know what I mean? You're just taking NA like completely off the table. But crazy.
Right. Dang, man. That is just like so intense, and I like feel bad for all the people that are like really, really involved. Like I couldn't imagine being like, oh, we got this really cool ad spot, and then now this is what it is, and this is the event that you're gonna get. Like I said, maybe we'll get something really cool out of it, but
yeah,
who
I just
knows?
feel bad. I feel bad for the coaching staff that lost their jobs, all the players that had a salary gone overnight. Like, it's just crazy. Like, people need jobs. You know what I mean? Like,
and the thing is that, like, you're not just messing with, like, the way that I look at it is, like, you're not just messing with somebody's job. You know what I'm saying? You're seriously messing with somebody's career.
Yeah.
At that point, because that's a job or it's not a job, I guess you could say, but that's a career that you strive to have, that kids grow up wanting to do that for their entire lives at this point. So you're literally taking and breaking somebody's hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
And just saying, yep, too bad, no more. Like, that's intense.
I mean, we'll see how much damage they actually do to North American League of Legends as a league and as an industry. You know, if they take it beyond, like, to the point of no return, like, no sponsors anymore and no nothing, like, that's just gone from the country then. You know what I mean?
We're going to get, like, shunned and blacklisted or something. Like,
but, I mean, if you don't have sponsors, you don't have this, you don't have that, like, how would you pay players? It's just not going to be. You're not even going to be on a professional level like the rest of the world anymore. Right. And we're already at a point to where, like, we don't do well internationally, but we're starting to get there. And now you're just destroying the league. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
what are you doing it for? Just so you don't have to go out publicly and be like, you know what, we were wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
or it's a whole plan and conspiracy that it's like China and it's China and Korea and the other countries just teaming up against us so that we can't challenge them as much. Maybe they saw us coming up close and they were like, "Yep, nope, shut it down."
If you watched the international tournament a couple weeks ago, I don't think you were worried about that. But
did we not do good?
No.
Oh boy.
It was kind of weird how it turned out. I mean, I don't know if this is just going to be a whole League of Legends episode at this point, but they have a new game coming out with the comic book included with the deluxe pack. That looks really good, though. Comic books.
Right. So that's how we tie it back in, right there.
Yeah, it kind of turned out to be there was 2 teams from North America, 2 teams from Europe, 2 teams from China, and 2 teams from Korea. And then there was a bracket that you had to play, and you had to work your way through the bracket to be involved in the actual tournament on, like, the final 8 teams.
Yeah.
And so those final 8 teams ended up being the 2 teams from each region, and then they played each other and knocked each other out. So then there was nothing, like, you could do. Like,
yeah.
We didn't play Europe at all because Europe played each other, knocked each other out, then played China and got knocked out.
Dang.
We played each other, played Korea, got knocked out. So
yeah, just
there was no Western Conference at all, really.
dang.
But
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Sucks to get the short end of the stick sometimes.
Explosions!
All right, this week we want to try something. It's been going around on TikTok and stuff, and this is timeless. So, based on the entire rest of the podcast, we can get some timeless content out of this one. We're gonna do the rank 5. So we got Javier's pick 5 heroes. I pick 5 heroes, and I'm gonna give Javier 5, so on and so forth. So if I give Javier a hero and he puts him number 3, then he can't put any of the other 4 number 3, so on and so forth. I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram and TikTok. So let's get started. Give me some heroes.
All right, I'm just gonna go down my list in order the way that I wrote it.
All right.
Galactus.
Galactus?
Yeah.
I'm going number 5 for Galactus. I'm not super up on Galactus, and I know you're scheming, bro. I know you're scheming.
I'm scheming, bro. Like I really am. And
I'm not about to put him high on the list.
All right. Okay,
what
about number 2 on my list? What about Black Panther?
That one. I don't know what you have on the list though.
I know.
I'm gonna put Black Panther solid number 3.
Okay.
Solid Black Panther number 3.
BP. All right.
So we got
I'm doing initials.
Galactus number 5, Black Panther number 3.
There it is. All right. So number 3 on my list going down is The Thing.
The Thing. I'm gonna put him number 4.
Ooh,
I'm
wow.
gonna put him number 4. I'm really thinking you're holding out good ones.
I promise you, this is gonna be a great one, bro. Okay. All right. You ready for the second to last one?
Yes.
Number 4, He-Man. Where does He-Man rank?
I'm not that mad about this. I'd rather put Black Panther above him, but I'm gonna put He-Man at number 2. He-Man. What did you do to me, bro?
All right, man. You want to know who's your favorite superhero?
Yes.
And who landed in number 1?
Yeah.
Because last on my list is Superman.
Superman number 1.
Superman landed number 1 on your list, bro.
I have a history of talking about how much I love Superman.
I know. That's why I did that. That was the scheme.
That's so funny. Are you ready for your list? There's going to be some crossover here. There's going to be some crossover.
Did I stick? Oh, I guess they are Marvel. Because it does Marvel Masters.
Well, He-Man's not Marvel.
Yeah. I think they'd put out a line
really?
of toys or something. I don't remember.
Well, I'm not that mad at He-Man, man. He-Man was he used to be the only books I would get from the library when I was in elementary school.
That's dope.
I loved He-Man when I was younger. And we got those big pops of He-Man and Skeletor, man. I'm not mad about it. Right. I would have liked to have Black Panther higher on that list. I thought you were holding out Batman and Red Hood.
I was holding out the Superman.
I thought for sure you were gonna make me put Nightwing number 5 or something. I thought you were gonna get me.
No.
All right, let's see what you do. I got number 1 on my list is Green Lantern.
Ooh, let's put him at 3.
3 for Green Lantern.
I like Green Lantern.
This is where we have some crossover. I got The Thing on my list as well.
Ooh, that one. I feel bad. That one's got to go last. I feel bad. I feel bad.
5 for The Thing. Green Lantern's number 3. All right, I got Superman on my list too. Superman.
Ooh. 2.
2.
That's a 2 for me. That's a 2-fer.
I feel
that's the first mega superhero. That's the first time that anybody's seen superheroes, really.
Yeah. So we got Green Lantern number 3. We got The Thing number 5. Superman number 2, and I got Black Widow.
As number 1.
No, Black Widow is. You got to place it. You got.
Oh, so I don't. Okay,
you
so I
got
don't have
1 and 4 left.
Ooh, and I already know you're gonna trip me up with a Batman one.
Yep.
I have a feeling. He's like, yep.
It's not Batman.
Let's go Black Widow number 4.
4?
Yeah. I like Black Widow. I feel bad for that one. But
I think you're going to be happy with your list, my friend. Are you ready to hear your list in reverse order?
What's number 1?
You're gonna have to wait to find out.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna build this suspense.
All right.
We got The Thing at number 5. You're not liking The Thing. You don't like The Thing. You hate him.
I do. I guess. Apparently. Apparently.
So we got The Thing at number 5. Number 4, we got Black Widow. Number 3, we got Green Lantern. I thought Green Lantern might trip you up a little bit. I know you like Green Lantern. We got number 2, Superman. And I know you're going to love this number 1. Right above Superman, we got Miles Morales.
I knew it. I was like, it's either Batman or Miles. Yes.
I was
all in prep for Spider-Verse.
yeah, of course. We had to put Miles on there.
Right.
We've been talking about him a lot. We got Spider-Verse coming. By the time you're watching this, we watched it. And I think that was a pretty solid list on your part. You got a good list.
I think I built a strong list. And honestly, out of that list, I would have been way more upset if Miles was on the bottom.
Right? If you could have sacrificed number 1 with Black Widow, then you would have put Miles at 4.
I almost did too, dude. I almost did because I was like, he's gonna put Batman, and then I was like, no, he's not. He's doing the reverse psychology thing. And I was like, maybe he is.
Miles.
And I was just like, you know what? Here's the safety net for Batman. So whoever it is, this is Batman's safety net.
I mean, you got Superman at number 2, so regardless.
Hey, man, you got Superman number 1.
Yep, Superman. Between the two of us, we love Superman.
I think I love Superman. If you were to get Superman first, where would you have put him on your list?
I probably would have put him 3.
Oh, really?
3 or 4.
Who you would have stuck with Galactus being last?
Yeah, if he came out early enough. Yeah, because like, what were the other ones? I had Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther, the Thing, He-Man, Superman, and Galactus. Well, wait, hold up. I messed up.
What?
I put a villain.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I messed up.
That's why he's number 5. He's the worst hero on the list.
There we go.
Didn't even think
it's kind
about
of a me neither. It's kind of a funny mistake, dude. I just like think of his helmet all the time, and I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
Right.
It's purely on the shape of his head.
What does Galactus's skull look like?
Like this, like this.
Just a person with their arms up.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have put He-Man pretty low if I would have known.
Superman was going to score that high.
Well, I would have put Black Panther first, you know.
Yeah.
I would have put Black Panther first. And the Thing and Superman, I prefer The Thing, but Superman's strong as heck, man. You can't deny it. You can't deny it.
Right. Yeah.
You can't deny
Never.
Superman. You're never going to deny Superman.
I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, yep, you're right. Like,
Well, maybe another time we can do villains.
we're definitely going to have to do villains and get a list that I can't somehow pick in order. I'm like, I don't have a problem with my list at all, really.
I mean,
like,
I think I gave you a better combination of heroes, but
yeah, you definitely did and didn't throw a villain in there. I was trying to trip you up because I was like, I know he likes He-Man. I know he likes the Thing. I almost threw the Hulk in instead of He-Man.
Oh yeah.
And I
like
didn't
the
know.
Hulk too. I like so many people though. Like, I'm not mad about any of it. You know what I mean?
I was almost like Twig, but I don't know the story enough for it to be like. Is that a hero? What is it?
I was just expecting you to leave out like I was expecting you to hit me with like Deadpool at the end, but I didn't know if you were gonna put an anti-hero on there. You know what I mean? I thought you were holding one out on me.
No,
but it was Superman.
I planned for that. I wanted you to kind of think that I was holding one out, and then I was like, and then I'm gonna hit him with his number one being his most hated Spider-Man.
I almost did put what am I saying? Black Panther #1 right out the gate, but I
Right,
wanted
and then
to
you're
leave
like,
some
oh
breathing
boy.
room. I want to leave some breathing room. I was just gonna put like Spider-Man, Miles, Ghost Spider.
That would have been the hardest thing in the world. We're like, that's all one spot, dude. That's all #1. Like,
Yeah, right. Spider Ham.
right? Well, no, we can get rid of him.
Oh, okay.
I think
like
he looks
him.
cool.
I like Spider.
I think he looks cool, but
Spider Noir.
that one's cool.
Yeah.
I think I want to. There was a 2009 run of Spider-Man Noir, and that's where they pulled him from for the
Right.
movie. And I think I need to pick that up.
Yeah, you should, so I can look at it.
Yeah. I don't remember the price. I know it spiked. I know it's a couple $100 right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine it's spiking. It's probably going to spike again if this is part 1 of 2. You know what I mean?
That was when it did. So it spiked the first time in 2018 when we got Edge of Spider-Verse. Yeah, the first one. And then it just spiked like a month or two ago again going into this one. So I'm like, here we go. And then after the movie, after tomorrow, it's going to go up. And then it's going to go right back down and sit there until the next movie.
And it stays there. And it stays there.
Right.
Up, down, up, down.
Right. And they stay there. But
I am T-Pain. Ready to wrap this thing up, man?
I think we're all good,
I
man.
think we're ready to wrap it up. Thank you for letting me rant about League of Legends for an episode. I think it's super important, especially if the future of esports is, gonna start following suit. If I like esports better than regular sports, traditional sports, but I know some people agree and don't agree. But if the future of that is going to start to follow suit, I think there's a whole industry possibly in danger.
Yep.
And it lives a little bit in our world, in our geek culture world. So definitely wanted to bring it up. Hopefully something works out and they come to some kind of agreement. But until next time, be sure to check the description for things like free money on Whatnot using our link to sign up. Get free $10 to use anywhere on Whatnot. 10% off your jitterless energy at w.gg using code Collective Comics at checkout. And until next time, this has been Collective Comics.
We'll see ya.
We'll see ya.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.